Incredible greetings. Oh, wait, there we go. Hello, everyone. Incredible greetings. How are you guys doing today? We are going to talk a little bit about designing, as you guys saw from the thumbnail, and whether or not you just might be overthinking your designs, which is causing you to second guess yourself. All right. So, if this is something that you are struggling with and you want a little help and guidance and how to break past this like overthinking process of especially basic designings, then go ahead and stick around. I am Shakia, the professor of HSINK365. We are the home of Silaholics Anonymous, where I have been teaching you to design in Silhouette Studio for the past 8 years. Everything from really basic and simple things to very, very detailed and intricate designs. You can actually do quite a bit in Silhouette Studio. It is a free software. Yes, it is a software that is used to control the Cameo and Portrait and Curio, like the Silhouette family of machines. But if you did not know, you don't need a machine in order to use the software. You can download it and then use it to create your designs, whether it is for sublimation, if it is for cutting to a any type of cutter or plotter like a Cameo, a Cricut, a Grab Tech, even Roland. I design in there for cuts for my Roland BN20. You can use it if you want to do embroidery. I know so many people who design in it to then be able to take their designs to their laser cutter softwares and rip softwares. You can design for DTF in Silhouette Studio. The possibilities are completely endless. This is not a sponsored video. I have just found that it works for so many areas of my business, and I like to share that with you guys. And like I said, I've been doing that for 8 years to teach you guys how to design within that software. I do also have 6 Cameo machines. So we do teach using the machines and getting effective and efficient cuts, with the machine as well. I'm sorry, my nose is itchy. We are also the home of the Honestly Speaking line of products. If you don't know, we carry the best, absolute best sublimation ink and paper that your money can buy. You can submit as our little cup here says. Let's go here. Transfer rate, it's really like 98%, but hey, we're all about branding over here. So it says 95.63, 365 backwards. You can sublimate as low as 365 degrees and as fast as 30 seconds. You're able to use less ink for, majority of your designs. I pretty much always use plain paper setting set to like the highest quality. Very minimal ghosting with the way that the paper is made. You get no bleed, no blowout, no bleed through the back. Reduces the amount of blue specks that you're going to have on shirts. I really don't get them at all. And then 3-minute tumblers. So you can sublimate and you'll see that. That is so amazing. And we have our little peacock. So if you are watching right now, if I can get you guys to go ahead and drop that peacock in the comments, I would greatly appreciate it. And last but not least, 365 Creative Academy, which I actually have on my 365 Creative Academy shirt that was printed and pressed with Honestly Speaking sublimation paper. And that's where I teach you to unlock your creativity, as the logo says, in a wide variety of trainings and programs, everything from designing to the actual application of various projects. We have a lot coming up for grad season. There's so many different things that you can do for grad season and kind of bundle those things up for parents, grandparents, the actual grads, because sometimes they'll be the ones that'll contact you. I know for at the beginning of the school year, most of the seniors, it wasn't like their parents that contacted me. It was the seniors, and they were the ones paying for it, like their senior crowns and things like that. So there's a lot like this. We're about to hit another one of those really, really pivotal money-making seasons for creative entrepreneurs, those who create custom apparel and custom projects and things like that. So we have some classes that are coming up that's going to help prepare you for that. A part of that is going to kick off on Saturday, where we're going to talk about pricing, and a lot of the graduation stuff will be what's it called? I would say upfront and center when we're talking about pricing. So if you are struggling with knowing how to price it and things like that, definitely join us on Saturday, where we learn to price for profit. But today we are going to talk about designing. All right. So I was going to ask if you guys could hear me, but I see those peacocks because I completely forgot to go to the comments. So the fact that I see peacocks, I know that you guys can hear me. All right. So hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings, everyone. How are you? Buenos tardes. Hello, hello. I'm from Miami, so I got to know a little bit of Spanish. Incredible afternoon, incredible afternoon. Hello, hello, hello. So I need a new sub printer. Not sure which one to get. I have several videos, and that, to be honest, for some of you guys, I will say that like a lot of the content, it'll be kind of like repetitive for you, but I have a schedule of things, and I said I'm going to end up talking about the same thing like on a certain day, pick a day, because you guys always ask me about scheduling stuff. So it'll be scheduled, but it will be to talk about pretty much the same things every single day, like at these times, like for like, let's say a month or whatever. But I've done several videos when it comes to printers. There's a lot of different factors when it comes to printers on whether or not you want the convenience of just being able to pour ink in there. But then there are some cons to just using that printer. How much do you want to spend? How important are colors to you? So there's a lot when it comes to that. My favorite printers are going to always be printers, if you're converting, that use pigment ink. So that is like your workforce printers, the 16600, 16650 are going to be the preferred printers for me, but those EcoTank printers can be pretty pricey. So it just depends on those factors. So definitely check out my videos where I break all of that down. Incredible, morning for some and incredible afternoon. Do I use Design Space? No. Well, so yes and no. I have several videos where I teach it. Excuse me. I know how to use Design Space. I have some videos where I have shown like some comparisons. I've shown how to do some things in there. For me, there's just a lot of complicated steps, although their new wave and like their warp tool seems pretty cool over there in Design Space, but it's not something that I typically use. It's not, if you are a Cricut user, I'm able to show you some things because, you use that cutting machine, but it really isn't, previously. And it does seem like new management and, so ever since they went public and all of that, they are making strides to make the program a little bit more robust because they realize that people are using it more than just for like your general, like actual crafting. People are using it for business and they need a little bit more to the design aspect of it and the design interface of it. So they are making a lot of strides and changes, but I don't ever really see it as being a true graphic designing software. So I don't foresee me like really teaching it because I don't use a Cricut machine. I have 6 Cameos. So there we go. Thank you guys for dropping those peacocks. It's snowing here in Nebraska, so staying warm. It was a little on the chilly side this morning, but yeah, we definitely don't get snow here. So hello, hello. I want to know what's the right paper to use on dark clothes. Oh, you have Silhouette. Okay, perfect. So the right paper, as far as sublimation paper is never, ever, ever going to sublimate. Like you're never going to be able to use sublimation paper on dark items. Now you can take your sublimation print and press it to a white base transfer, such as like Glitter HTV, Easy Subli, or you can print directly to like Jet Pro, which I don't really kind of like recommend like doing that, but like things like that, Subli Cotton, but there's no paper that's going to allow you to press to dark designs. You have to do transfers. Everything for a dark design is going to be something that's topical. Sublimation onto polyester is the only method where you're not going to be able to feel the difference between your design and your garment. Every other method, you're going to feel it, whether it is some sort of printable HTV, if it is DTF, DTG, screen printing, embroidery, rhinestones, whatever it is, you're going to feel it because it's going to be topical. But I do have several videos about that as well. Okay. Do I use all 6 Cameos? The 3 is more so for teaching purposes. I don't really care for the 3, so I don't use that very often, but I use my 2, and I use 2 of my original cameos all the time. Ever since I got the 2, I went down from using like all 3 of my original cameos, so where I pretty much can have 2. Right now I do more teaching, but when I was like in the thick of it, as far as doing a lot of party favors and doing a lot of cutting, I had a shelf and I literally would have all 3 of them going at the same time. So now it's more so like 2 of them, because 1, I'm missing the little lock for it. And if I really, really need it, I have to put like a rubber band on it. But I use my 2 of my originals and my 4. The 3 is just not my favorite to use. So what's the best software to use for this silhouette? Silhouette Studio. That's going to be the best software for you to use for that. Okay, give me 1 second. Oh, I just did all of that and y'all couldn't hear nothing I said. This is why. Oh gosh, I hit the button and I just realized it was red, and my eyes stayed glued on the camera. And so I just saw, and I'm like, well, why do I see? I'm like, okay, what's going on? Why do I see all of these like things popping up? And I didn't realize that I was muted the whole time. I was muted the whole time. Oh my gosh. Now I gotta remember and to say all that again. Okay, let's go back then. I'm gonna take a breather. So is there a free version? If you're using Silhouette Studio, I mean, if you're using a Silhouette Cameo, you should already have the Silhouette Studio version, Silhouette Studio program. So here you said I have Sil, but then you asked is there a free version? So the base version of Silhouette Studio is a free version. You can get Designer and then Business. Oh my gosh. So yeah, y'all know that's this. So let me tell you something. This is one of the reasons why, if it's live, I think you guys give me a little bit more forgiveness and grace because I can always go back, right? But when I do pre-recorded videos and I don't realize that things are muted because it's like either the microphone or the audio wasn't on the computer, do you know how aggravating that is to have to then go, like, at least now it was only like a small section, to go through a full teaching and you're muted and then have to redo the whole thing? Like, nobody have time for that. Nobody have time for that. So I this is one of the reasons why I don't like doing pre-recorded, because this always happens to me where I forget about the mic being hot. So, okay, let's do this again. Take two. Whew. All right, let's see. Where was I talking about? Okay, designing, right? In this industry of creating custom apparel, custom design, signs, like we do a lot of, for lack of better words, people will say, you know, crafting. I just like to say creating, and you are creating custom designs for your clients or simply just creating custom products, because it is okay. I didn't say it the first time, but see, look, this is why we get to restart, right? I want to start off by saying, if you are someone that wants to monetize and you want to be able to make money off of being able to simply press things or cut things out from vinyl and press them to shirts, if you want to sublimate it, if you want to just simply print things out, like, you know, you're an event planner, or, you know, you want to be able to be all inclusive and you want to have invitations for your clients, you don't have to be the person that designs it. If you are, let's say you want to invest more on and put more emphasis on the type of printers that you use, or the type of machines, and it's like, I'd rather just focus on mastering these, I don't want to focus on designs, you really don't have to, because there's so many resources and there's so many things out there as far as designs, and you can either get them and, you know, at least learn the basics to tweak them, but you don't have to come up with the full concept. So many major companies, it's not the person who's at the head and the helm of the company that's designing. They'll have a design department. Consider Etsy and Creative Fabrica, Vector Stock, Creative Market, whatever it is that you're getting them from, design bundles, just consider that to be your design department. Like, that's how you can approach this if you really only want to focus on the printing and the production side of your business. But when we think about designing, a lot of the times, you know, it is there's like a tech side, and then there's things as far as like you drawing things out and stuff like that, right? So you don't have to have text. Like, I could have this be just by itself, our lovely little peacock here, right? You have things like there's like bears. Right now we're in spring and Easter, so you're going to see things like Easter bunnies. A lot of those designs come from people who are actually artists, right? And they have the ability to take pencil or pen or color pencil or oils and all those things, pastels, to canvases and paper, and they can draw it out. They can go and they can take a pencil and it's going to look like a full-on photo because they're going to shade it in. That's a certain level of artistry. Those are artists that can do those things. And not all of us are equipped to. I can create some amazing designs, but I'm going to create some amazing designs by putting together a lot of PNGs and JPEGs. And there's a certain amount of like designing that I can do on my own, where I can go and I can draw it out, because I drew as a kid. I have several notebooks with drawings and stuff in them, and I can do that, but it takes a lot of time. That's not really where my passion is. If I have to, if I'm doing it for myself, I can do those things, but it's not where my passion lies at. I'd rather go and just kind of mix and match, and that's pretty much where most of you guys are going to find yourself in kind of like that area. I know we go and we see all of these amazing clip arts and things like that of different, body figures and ladies and guys, and we see the kids stuff. Like, there's a lot of them, but there's a certain type of, like I said, certain type of artist that can create that. And all of us may not be able to do it to that level. But what we can do is work on what is the complete foundation of designing, and that is text and using fonts and things like that. So I have what's called Foundations of Design. We meet tonight. Yes, the link is up for the Zoom session. So we meet tonight. We meet every 2 weeks. They had an assignment to create a design with text, right? I didn't give any major direction. They could have created anything. I gave the example of make a recipe card. And if the title of the recipe was one font, and you use a different font for the ingredients and maybe use a different font for the instructions, you could have made an advertisement. You could have made something for a shirt. It did not matter what it was. It's just that the focus of it had to be on text, because that is going to be the foundation of a lot of your designing, and how you select fonts. How do you pair the fonts? How do you space the fonts? How do you align your words and things like that? That's foundational. And the more you become creative with how you arrange text, the text or the fonts that you select, it'll start to make it a little bit easier when it's time to pull in images, because the main focal point may very well just be the text, and then everything else is just it's a supporting it's a supporting cast of the text, because that's what's going to stand. That's a lot of times that's what's going to jump out at you. There's so many t-shirts that are made with just text. So again, that is the foundation. And I do find that most people overthink how they design. You overthink it. Graduation season is really, really big for creators, crafters, creators, creative entrepreneurs. This is a really, really busy time. And you'll notice some of the shirts, they just wanted to say class of 2023. But most of you guys will sit there at the computer, staring at your computer, trying to figure out how to, I'm going to kind of use someone put it in the group. They want to think outside of the box for something as simple as class of 2023. However, if you go to Etsy, you go to Creative Fabrica, a lot of the time, some of the most simplest designs, and it's just one or two fonts, is what jumps out at you and is what you'll use to make your designs. Whether you're going to add a picture to it, add a mascot, add color to it, it's just text. And for some reason, when you're sitting in front of the computer, nothing looks right. It's like you feel like you can't choose the right font to save your life. Who experiences that? Where you feel like you're sitting there, you know the words, you have them typed out, but you just can't choose the right font. Who goes through that? She says, I love this course. Oh yes, honey, there is definitely a gray patch right here. Thank you. I could not upload the picture I was telling you about, but when I take it off the mat, I can see through it. I'm trying to make it white color or any color. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Did you post it in the group? Okay, so yes, me. I'm working on a design now, and client wants a lot of words and an image. It be a struggle sometimes. Okay, so let's kind of, what about it is a struggle, right? It's a lot of words. Okay, first, what is it going on? So you're working on design. It's a lot of words. A lot of words can be a number of things, right? So I just did a whole obituary for my grandmother. That's a lot of words. It's several paragraphs. So what is a lot of words? What is it going on? Is it for something that has a lot of real estate, like a tumbler, a shirt, a poster, a banner? Is it something that has a small amount of real estate, like a mug, a small card? Like, what is it going on? I have learned by watching you, so I know 2 or 3 fonts with all the same letters. Okay. But we will sit here, right? And you'll struggle over it. But you can go to Etsy, right? So those of you who say you sit at the computer and you struggle trying to choose a font, is it easier? Do you find it easy? And do things just jump out at you if you go to Etsy, Creative Fabrica, and you're looking for designs? Let's just say class of 2023. You can't figure out how to put this together, but it's like you go to a site and it's like, man, boom, like this is what I wanted. Like, it's easier to how can I say, not say consume, but it's easier to appreciate someone else's design, but you're second guessing yourself so much. So is that the words? Happy heavenly birthday? That's it? That's not a lot of words. And it's going on a shirt. Okay. Okay, do you have the exact words? So when you're thinking about, like, it's like, what are the exact words? So I can't say, you say it's more words than that though, but I mean, I don't know, because all I know is happily heavenly birthday. Like, so she wants to bring awareness. Is the other words just what cancer it was? I'm a survivor. My son, is she trying to tell his whole life story on a shirt? If that's the case, she's trying to tell a whole life story, then that's not something that can really, I mean, I kind of steer my, it just really depends. Like, you can't just put everything on a shirt. Like, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so I'm waiting for that one. But so let's go back. I have creative, we have foundations of designing, and they were tasked with homework. So where they had to create a design, right? It did not matter what that design was. It could have been for a logo. It could have been for an advertisement. It could have been for a shirt. I even gave the example of a recipe card, or, you can just make a whole page of, like, to outline a recipe. You may have wanted to put a certain font to make the title of the dish stand out, and then you needed a different font for the ingredients. Maybe you wanted certain parts to be bold so that you knew, like, they were important things, and then you wanted to a different font to type out the steps, right, of how to create this. It could have simply been class of 2023. It could be happy birthday. But one of the words that was used was, I want to think outside of the box. And that sometimes is where the issue is, because you're trying to be so different when most times your clients don't. It doesn't really matter. We gravitate towards designs that are very similar and they're very simple. We naturally gravitate towards them, but for some reason, when we're doing it ourselves, we want it to be this grand thing, and we want to think outside of the box. So you tend to overthink the process. We tend to overthink the process. Okay, so it would say, happy heavenly birthday, Ryan. Gone too soon, 2024, 2022, osteosarcoma warrior, but we need more survivors. Okay, so that she wants all that on the front. Let's break this down, right? I'm gonna give you guys, and this is gonna, I'm kind of going a little away from how I was gonna teach, but this is gonna be perfect, right? So in my Foundations of Designing class, we literally just, when I tell y'all, we just went over this last week. You can still enroll in it. You can get access to that playback. One of the things I teach them about is what's the focus of it, right? What's going to be the focal point of these words, right? So happy heavenly birthday, Ryan, right? If that is what this is more so about, that might be something that you're going to choose to be in a larger font, something that's bold, something that's going to stand out. We're not going to really have that be in something that's really thin, because that is probably that is our focal point. Now, it is a lot of words. So doing things like curving certain parts so that it doesn't take up so much space. So if we end up doing happy heavenly birthday, and that was curved, and then his name becomes the true focal point, right? Gone too soon, and then the date is not something that has to stand out, because it's not about him passing. This shirt is about his birthday, which for me, in all honesty, as a designer, and if I was talking through, like, not to kind of deter them for what they were trying to do, if it was about his birthday, I would make the shirt about his birthday and just say happy birthday, and put, maybe just put osteosarcoma warrior, and but we need more survivors. If it's something that is, this is where it gets kind of tricky, right? And you have to be someone who can really tactfully discuss these things with your clients. People say we need more survivors of cancer, of HIV and AIDS, of car accidents. Things are meant to happen. I mean, if you can survive, and there's no really like major or like definitive determining treatment that's going to make someone a survivor versus a warrior, and they pass from it, right? Because if everyone could be survivors, then it really wouldn't be a sickness, and we wouldn't have to worry about cures. Like it just can't be that way, right? So is that the message that we really want to put on there? Because it's almost like, to me, it'll come off as I don't want to say that. I'm not going to say how that comes off to me. But anyway, if the focus is supposed to be his birthday, you can still kind of go and put something on there. And sometimes, people will want to bring awareness to something. Then that, to me, needs to be something that's totally different. What about this disease or this illness does there need to be awareness on? Is it something that, when someone says bring awareness, is it something that you can cause it to happen? Is it something that is just genetic? Is it awareness because people aren't diagnosed soon enough? Is it awareness for people to actually go to the doctor and see if what's ailing them? Like, when people say awareness and they're doing these different things, it's like, is it really awareness about the disease or the illness, or the fact that this person passed from it, and what were the circumstances around that? So, I mean, that's just for me, and kind of like how I think and when I am creating designs. Even when people go through and they want to have like the list of all of the different cancers, I'm like, okay, I get it, but that's a whole other topic. But what is your focus in this? What is their focal point in this? If it's about his birthday, that means make that the bigger part of it, and everything else is secondary. So maybe the gone too soon, and you have the dates. Then if they want to highlight what he passed from in your design, you're going to make the illness bold and say he was a warrior. You know, the fact, I mean, hey, if you're going to say he is a warrior, you can't come back and then say, you know, but we need more survive. Like, he was a warrior. I mean, if it's about him, he passed. He's the warrior. Yes, we need more survivors, but we're here to honor the person who was a warrior through this. So for me, I'm not going to try and make, but we need more survivors big, because that's not that. I'm not here to just, like, I'm not sure what the shirts are going to be for, but to me, it wouldn't seem like it's about the fight for it and finding cures. We're here to talk about his birthday. Like, it's about him. So that's how I would approach the design. If I'm looking at it, even without them telling me this, when I design it, I'm going to design it where happy birthday, Ryan, is going to be focal. The date that he passed, I don't really want to put a lot of attention to that. That can be kind of sad. So that'll probably end up being just a simple line. And then the illness and having that in the color, and then having like a small tagline and script that says something to the effect of, but we need more survivors. That's just how I design it. So I thought about that too. And then that's the thing too, like, you know, with it being a child, I understand as a parent how that would, you know, how it can make you feel that, you know, you lost your child to this, but they have to remember, what is the purpose of the shirt? Is it to honor his birthday, or is it to talk about the illness that took your child away from you? I don't know. So that's, for me, that's where I start to think, you know, when I'm figuring out designs, that part you have to put a little bit of thought into it. And I guess I've been doing this for so long to where I'm going to be able to identify those things. But this, and you can ask anyone that's in the Foundations of Designing class, this is what I teach them, is what's your focal point. Last time I showed them, what was it? PJ Masks. Pretty much the same things, but each one had a different focal point. In my design classes, I don't teach designing from templates. I want you to find your own voice. I want you to understand design so that you don't overthink them. The other part of designing is, I guarantee most times for most of you guys, right? You're trying to figure out how to create one perfect design, right? Let's have an honest moment. Put a peacock, and y'all gonna get tired of me with this peacock, I'm telling you now, because now I'm in love. If you design and you're trying to figure out the one perfect design, you're trying to figure out how to do all of this in just one. No different changes, no variations. When you're designing, you're getting stuck because you're trying to figure out how to fit it all in one perfect design. Let me see a peacock if that's you. This is why we watch you. Oh, thank you. So that means something I said helped. I know it's a little bit hard to find it, so I'm gonna need y'all to make sure y'all keep that in y'all favorites, because I'm constantly be telling y'all to drop peacocks. So I'm gonna need y'all to go make sure that y'all go, you type it out and you put it in your favorites. That way, when the professor's on, you can drop it. Thanks. So I know it's a little bit harder to find. Here is a tip for you guys. Stop doing that, right? You are going to overthink it when you're trying to use just one set of fonts, and you're trying to make this one be completely perfect. My students know that I will have several different variations of a design. Let me see. Can I pull it up? Do I still have it? Open. Let's see. When did I design those PJ masks? Okay. I don't know if that's the one. Aha. I'm always focused on the one request instead of future orders that can benefit from this one design. Exactly. Because you can take portions of it and you might design it and it may not work, but keeping that because it can be used for something else. I don't even know if I still have it. I don't know if I did a screenshot of it. I probably did, but I didn't save it. Yeah, see, these are all the same ones. Dang it. Hold on. No. No. I'm trying to find the final, the 3 different versions of it so I can show you guys. Oh, well, I'm looking for that. The other part of it is when you guys see a design that you like, where you're trying to, you spend so much time trying to find that exact font. How many of you guys, that is your downside of how you design. You're trying to match this font and match this style exactly. How many of you fall into that? Into that struggle of trying to match fonts perfectly. I mean, identically, right? So they said me. All right, so now I'm going to switch over to here. Here is, these were submitted to, oh, I posted my group too. I submitted it to the customers. I broke it down in my Foundations of Designing class to where it's a lot of the same elements, but it's in different arrangements. I'm not going to, some of them may not work. I may be able to, like the ones I didn't use, I might be able to switch out, I can now take this, and instead of it being PJ Masks, I'm going to take this part here. I'm going to have, which this looks like, I'm going to have Sesame Street here. I'm going to have Paw Patrol. Then I'll just probably have to change out this part. Of course, the tagline, because this is a PJ Masks tagline. But it's the same elements, yet different. Now, this does have imagery to it, and not just text, but for text designs, it's going to be the same exact thing. So where the words and that you want to use, and it's just a matter of looking at different fonts, not trying to, okay, so for this part, I'm going to go through it and I'm going to find the perfect font. When I'm designing and I type out text, I'm going to take that text and I'm going to try it out in a bunch of different fonts. So let's just go let's go stop. STOP. Over. All right, I'm giving you guys pretty much a free lesson here. Not sure if you noticed what I did here, right? I have it written in like standard capitalization. It's all caps. And I meant to do this one with like that, all caps, and then all lowercase. This is how I start designs. Then you're going to take that and you're going to find a font. Okay, want that one. Then I'm going to go in and I'm going to look for a different font. Oh, that's a grunge font. I don't want to use that. I'm just going to put it like that. And then we're going to go through our fonts. See, some of you guys have gotten caught up and that little preview thing that's at the bottom of the newer silhouette, no. And then you type it out and you're going through it because it's changed it, right? And it changed it to the words. But if you have a whole bunch of words, that's not going to do much for you for that little preview, when you can go and you can type everything out and then just go through the various fonts. And you're able to now look at these fonts and see all of your words. And then you can put them together if you need to. So I'm just going to go like this. Let's do, see, I already know that's not probably going to work, although I like it. So I'm looking at this. I don't like it as all caps, but I do like it where it's an all lowercase. So I'm going to go here and let's just go like that, right? All right, boom. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 here. You know, you can do 5. Sometimes it can be overwhelming when you have that many, but these are like, this is a standard font. So I have 5 here. And I'm now able to see all the words that I kind of want to use. And I'm able to see like, okay, does this part look good in this font, but this part doesn't? And then I can now start to maybe visualize how these are going to work together. So I'm going to take this part and we're going to go here. And I might want to use one of these. So we're going to go there, take that off. I knew once I took the line color off, I wasn't going to see not a nary a thing. I mean, it's something that's quick, but it still pairs well together, right or wrong, right? Is this a pairing of just simple words? Stop overthinking. Where if someone posted this, you would give it a heart. Who, if I posted this and you just saw, or you saw anyone post this, would it be deserving of a thumbs up or a heart or some type of, like wow, I would say wow emoji, but it would deserve a heart or a thumbs up, right? So that's where you have to stop at. You can't do that many because it's going to be too many on the screen. So I teach my students to do 3. Try and do 3. I would say 5 max, nothing more than that. Oh, you're doing too much with 30. You definitely are doing too much with 30, but 3 to 5 is good. So see, yes, I would. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, right? And I literally picked out random fonts. And I'm looking at them and how they are. So I wouldn't use this stop here. If I wanted stop to be bold and I want that to be the focal point, okay, yes, I have this font, but I'm not going to use this stop. Now I could easily go and have it be like this. And do I want these to be separate text boxes? Yeah, let's just make these separate text boxes. I mean, I can stack them. I can have them where they go to the side. I can have it like that. I could take these same ones and we're just going to delete, oops, not, I'm gonna take it back down to 100. I said 100. So for me, it's just stop is the focal. The overthinking is there, like it's a message behind it, but you can end up creating a design. Like if you just take the words and just rearrange them. So instead of trying to have this, you may have this vision in your head, but if you get stuck on that and not explore other options. So whether I did stop overthinking, same exact layout, stop is big at the top, overthinking is underneath. Now it's just, and I'll even make it where it's the same exact colors. What the? It just depends on how you want it to read. Okay. So yeah, someone can put the stop, the line underneath the line, thinking. So stop overthinking. These are things. So see, at least now you guys are starting to open up your thought process. But my whole thing in this is most of, if someone gave you those words, most people think they have to add shadows, offsets. It has to, someone said extend. Okay. Also make the T longer, vertical. And automatically thinking about the changes that you're going to make it wow and make it different. You're going to spend forever in front of your computer not making money because you're going to be stuck on a design. And in this industry, time is money. Time is money. The longer you spend on a design, the less time you have to now work on the next design or even the next order. Because what if your next order, you didn't even have to design, it was provided for you and you could be done with that, but because you're stuck on this, and then you'll sit there forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Try out different layouts, try out different fonts, and sometimes color can, but before you add anything else to it, stop overthinking, type out the words. That's it. Select the fonts that's going to jump out at you. And from those fonts, you will then start to create, move things around. But we have to stop overthinking. Thank you so much for this free lesson. I am learning a lot. And think about how much more you will learn if you would join the Foundations of Designing program. How much is the class that will teach this? So, of course, y'all know I love to teach from Silhouette Studio. They're good in the foundation of designing. They're getting a little bit of Silhouette Studio and a little bit of Photoshop. Silhouette Studio is one that anyone can get because it's free. So I love to teach designing from there. And then, sometimes we'll skip over to Photoshop just so you can see like some other things that you can do. But I mainly teach from Silhouette because it's just about designing. It doesn't matter what program you design from. The foundations of designing and the concept are going to be the same no matter the software. So if you are not quite familiar with Silhouette Studio and the tools and functions, like me using the spacing, the line spacing, the character spacing, how to, resize things, I highly recommend that you start off with our Essentials to Silhouette Studio program. So it's 30 days of breaking down all of the tools and functions of Silhouette Studio so that you get a better understanding when you get into designing. I don't care what anyone tells you, it is much harder to learn how to design if you go into it where you're trying to learn the program and learn design at the same time. Because every time an instructor or someone on YouTube clicks on something, you're going to be lost. What was that? Where did you click on? Oh, you're blaming them. They're moving too fast because you simply don't know where it's at. They may say group and you're used to right click and group, yet they use keyboard shortcuts, or they might go to the top. It doesn't mean that you have to follow exactly what they're doing, just group. If I say group, there's 4 different ways that you can group. You can group from the icon. Is it 4? 3, yeah. So you can group from the icon here at the top, or you can group via keyboard shortcuts, or you can group by right-clicking and choosing group, or you can group by coming up here, going to object and choosing group. There's 4 different ways that you can choose group. And some people, like, it's just how they design it. Like, some people want to read it. Some people are okay with visuals. I like keyboard shortcuts. But if I say group and I go and I'm just, okay, you're going to group these together, and I use my keyboard shortcut, you're going to be like, okay, wait, how do I group? Because I didn't see you click on anything. So that's what Essentials to Silhouette Studio is for. I have people who have said they've been designing for multiple years, 7 years, 12 years, 3 years, and they still learn so much in that training. So that's where you're going to start at first. And then as far as designing, right now, I'm teaching classes a little bit different than how I did previously. And this is a tester and how we're going through this. Now, there is a program, like I'm bringing back my master's program, which will be teaching from here. Well, our bachelor's program will teach from here. Our master's program will really, really get into the nitty gritty of designing and understanding how. So like last year, I mean, they created different things. They created their own puzzle pieces. We created a lot of different things in the master's program. And it's something that you're just going to have to develop your skills over time. So the bachelor's program, this will be the foundation of it. And we're going to go through like really, really going step by step. But if you want to kind of jump into it right now, you want to understand and learn these concepts that I'm teaching you guys now, but more in depth, the Foundations of Designing program is what's live right now. We meet every other Thursday. As of right now, we meet every other Thursday. You end up getting homework assignments. And so you have those, that whole week to where you can work on your homework assignments and things like that. It is $250. as a one-time payment. You would get access to all of the playbacks. You get access to our student union. So if you didn't see my video yesterday, you're never left on your own. When you have questions, you can post it in the group. I do my best to answer, especially if it gives me opportunity to do a little quick video. You know, I'm always about doing the quick videos. So you're never left on your own. So you get a lot of perks with it. So it's $250, but it is 3 months or 2 months of 8 sessions of teaching. If you can't do the full $250, there is the buy now, pay later. Yes, it is a little bit more, but that's because there's fees associated with it. So that allows you to use Zelle, and then you'll just pay for it in small chunks. However, Zelle breaks it up for you. Or if you want to pay for it yourself and pay for it weekly, you can click right here. Ooh, I don't know where it's going to take you to. Hold on. Wait a minute. Because it might take you to my back end. Okay, no, it took you to the right spot. You can go here, and then you can sign up by paying for it weekly. All right. Like you were just doing click, click, click over, wait, on the stop overthinking. What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I learned so much in those 30 days, and I can go back and refresh myself. Love the student union group too. She says that's me, and then yes. Let's see. How you doing? All right, so there we go. I'm going to show one more design. I have to go back to it. So let's just say here, right? This was some of the things that I end up creating for my grandmother. I'm just going to focus on this one because it's basically just text, even without this part, right? So that was an afterthought. Most people, most designers and most creatives, most crafters, I understand that you're going to be charging someone for something. This is the other part of this struggle, like this battle between your, like the right and left side of your brain, right? And I'm going to really describe a lot of you with this one statement. Most of you feel like because there is a price attached to it and you are charging someone for it, that you have to do the most. Because someone's paying you, which you're underpricing anyway, because your money is exchanging hands, that it has to be this wow, jaw-dropping, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this. This is the best design in the world for $10. That's what you guys are struggling at. You're overthinking the fact that you're charging for it. Now, for me, I would have been perfectly okay with this. This is technically 4 fonts within this because this is one. Actually, is this 2 different ones? Yeah, this is 2, this is 3, and then there's 4 fonts here. And this is the 4th font here. I could have very well left this just like this. On the tumbler, I made it where it's stacked. On the shirt, it's not stacked. Do I have it over here? Yeah, see over here. So see on this one, oh, and this is in the wrong spot because I didn't realize until at the wake that my grandmother had a great grandchild. So I had to move that. But see, this one was, so there's two, the children and the grandchildren on one, the 71 great grands, and then like, because of how it is. So like I could have had that where it was stacked. The only reason why this has 3 colors to it, if it was, let's say, if I had to do this screen print, right? One of the least expensive ways to do this is going to be as a single color. These wings would have become white. And then this probably would have just been the blue. So if I really wanted to do this, they wanted the most cost-effective way possible. And I'm going to do this as screen print because I can get a 15-cent screen print in single color. Guess what? Here's where it's here. Okay. It's just text. I'm looking at what did I want to stand out. This is a lot of words, a lot of letters to it. So I can't have this be something that is very, very busy. I can't have this. Oh, I'm like, what the heck? I can't have that be something that has a lot of hanging letters because then my spacing is going to be off. It's little things like when you don't know about these things, you get stuck in how to design. But these are things that I teach about designing. Why wouldn't I use something that's script or lowercase, and then I'll have it where my G's are coming too low, or like with the I and it has a dot at the top, so now it's going to affect my spacing. What is the look that I'm going for? How do I want this? How do I want the reader? What do I want their eyes to go to? How much space do I have to work with? So if I had something that had hanging letters, like the spacing in between that would have to be, more, than it's going to be negative space. We talk about filling in negative space in my Foundations of Designing class. So even without any of the blue, I can take this and my clients will still be like, it has everything on it. It has the name, like what this is for. It's like, Estella's legacy. It's highlighting her children. And then we do have the date, sunrise, sunset. When I got to the facility where they were having the wake at, oh my God, I love that shirt. Oh, that's fire. And it was something that they probably could care half a crap about what was up here. What stood out to them was this part right here. And having someone go and literally put their legacy, and people are in awe. Whoa, 71 great grandchildren. Yeah, 71 of them. And it's just text. To where everybody and their mama at the wanted the shirt. And it's just text. Now, because I'm doing sublimation and it was shades of blue, okay, what can I do now to make this stand out? Now, I could have taken this and I could have made this that blue. Changed up the color a little bit there. Like I said, we had this one here. We made that one blue. I could have still put that over top. Now, here is where you start to make design decisions. So yes, I could. Ooh, my stomach's growling. I can pull this over the word legacy, right? But it can be where you kind of lose some of it because of the way like the letters are really, really long. So, I mean, although I would not hate, it's not, I don't hate it, but it's like, okay, maybe and that's the thing too, right? Do I put it here? Do I put it right at the top? Just kind of barely. So like right there, not so bad, right? Do I want this to be where it is huge? But then like now, where would these go? So even something as small as that, by making this slightly smaller, and I know I need to go across the name, but who said it had to be the whole Estella's? So I'm filling in that negative space by having Estella's, and then I have the dates right here. And that is still making this where it is balanced. And coming to the edge here, and it's going slightly over. Okay. But, and actually, let's see if I pull this back over here, and I'm gonna make that. But then on the white, legacy gets lost. So when you're adjusting your colors. So for me, when I'm designing, I design first. This is what I teach. I teach my students to design first in one single color. Had I been thinking about designs, and if I'm someone who's not experienced enough to know just to switch colors, and I'm like, okay, I knew I wanted okay, if her name is in blue, I want to alternate the colors, because we want a color block, right? So I want the next line to be in light blue. I lose the design. It falls back. It doesn't pop out at me with legacy being this lighter color, because that's a significant part of the design. All it required was to switch it. And so, and also it's really the blue, that darker blue, that makes the bigger word seem like it's lost within the design, because both of them as a blue, it's not that bad. I can still read the word legacy. But I'm going to just go ahead. So now, whoa, that stands out. Even though it's the same exact color as this one, it stands out. And then it's like making decisions like, okay, I can put this up here, but it's like, okay, it's like the same colors. Is it too much blue? Then when I had that white, I want to kind of see it. I'm going to pull that down, and just doing that where it breaks up the color a little bit just by having that white. It's little things like that, but you have, if no one ever exposes you to these design concepts and techniques, you're never going to think to apply them to what you're doing. This is what my Foundations of Designing program is about, is exposing you to different design techniques where you can find your own voice in how you design. This was on the shirt. Now for the tumbler, I had more real estate. I didn't want it to be small. If this was on the tumbler, I'm going to group this. I'm going to bring this over yonder. We're going to shrink this. Just going to put them side by side. So it's not that it's bad like this, right? But we had more space. And of course it did have the blue around it, but we had more space. We can make the word, like the children and grandchildren, stand out. And I could have done it on the shirt, but then it was like, it would be really long on there, like for a shirt. So I end up making it to where, and then spacing and making it slightly bigger to where now we have this kind of stair step to where children, and then it just gets wider and wider and wider. Those are just design techniques, design concepts, compositions, layouts, and just changing it up. So this would be in the middle, but now by just making that one change of how the names are, I elongate this design. Same exact fonts, same exact words, same exact colors. I just changed the way it's laid out. Layout, composition, colors, fonts, determining what your focal point is, are all important factors in designing. Okay. It's a matter of offsets. I have at least 3 videos that go over that. It's offsets and compound paths. Offsets and compound paths. I know, right? I'm about to go eat the rest of my pizza that was in there with my tumblers, because baby, my stomach is growling. So I'm about to get off here because I've been on here for an hour and 19 minutes. But I just want to encourage you guys to not overthink your designs. If you are not a strong designer, start with text designs. a recipe, like whatever your favorite recipe is, or just go online, go get a poem, go get the Star Spangled Banner, go get Lift Every Voice. One of my favorite poems, Maya Angelou's Still I Rise. And you don't even have to type it out. Like you can literally go and it'll just copy, you bring it over, make the lines different, different fonts. Let's see what else. The lyrics to Happy Birthday, whatever your favorite song is, go find the lyrics for it, copy it, put it in your design program, and choose different fonts. Today in class, we're going to go over how to determine what's the right point size for designs. That is what we're going to focus on today, because they probably did their homework and we're going to kind of analyze some things and break it all down. But we're going to go over what's the right size, right? What's the right point size? What is it? How do you determine that? Knowing what is going on. Are you going to be able to read this on this particular substrate or this media compared to something else? We're going to focus on that. Again, I'm teaching you the foundations of designing. Once you have these techniques, you have everything that you need to now build and build and build and build and build and build and build. And it's going to eliminate a lot of those things that we stress too much over because you've never been taught it. We think that, hey, I'm a crafter, I'm a creator, I can DIY this. I'm a very creative person. I can just go at this. And then you're sitting there for hours and hours and hours and hours of wasted time because you're overthinking, because you don't understand the foundations. She says, glad I can jump on today while my calls were slow. Cannot wait to see how you now approach this design. Definitely either post it to the group or inbox me. Would love to see how this design to honor Ryan comes out. Thank you so much. You are very welcome. Y'all know this is what I love to do. I would do this all day, every day, if I could, and not have to worry about any of the other stuff. If me being on here truly paid the bills to where we can get up, can't wait to the day where it's not something that's controversial. This is real, just learning. It doesn't seem like if it's in the morning time, the afternoon, the evening. Can't wait till we get to the day where we have 2,000 or 3,000 people watching. And that'll make me feel like, well, shoot, I can do this all the time. But hey, got to do other things because bills got to be paid. But if I could do this all day, every day, every single second of the day, if I could avoid sleep and growling bellies, I would literally do this every single day and every second of the day. So thank you guys for your time. Thank you for hanging out with me for an hour and a half, even through the microphone being off, that you didn't just run away and be like, okay, whatever, I'm not going to hear anything, whatever, I don't want to watch this video. I'm probably going to get that when people watch the playback of it. So I probably have to put like redo my thumbnail and say something to the effect of, go past the muted section, because sometimes people will get to that and they'll click off because they'll think that I never really fix the audio. But I thank you guys for sticking with me and rocking with me. I thank you guys for your encouragement when you guys are commenting, dropping the peacock. Now it's encouraging for me to know that this is needed and I need to keep doing this, so I thank you guys for that. When you guys are liking and sharing, that lets me know that you enjoy my content and there is a need for my content to continue. So I thank you guys for that. Make sure that you guys visit the website. You can get this. So some of you guys were interested when I posted this design, you wanted something with the peacock on it. So the tumblers are on the site. You can order one, a standard one, and it has, so if you just want to support, this is a great way to support Honestly Speaking and show your love for Honestly Speaking. Drink out of your cup. Every time you use this, you will be inspired and to know to not overthink when it comes to your designing. So get a tumbler and let this just be a reminder. Have this here and be like, When you're designing, have your Tumblr and say, what would the professor do? And watch your design start to flow. There's a couple of options to where if you love our products, you love our classes, you can get the Tumblr and then you can save on your class, like save on classes and products and digital files and things like that. So your yours will come with the QR code, so where when you scan it, it'll automatically have your discount code applied to the website that's on there. The code will be good for 3 months, and that's on the site, so you can go and check that out if you want to get your Peacock branded Tumblr as well as discount codes. Okay. I'm always glad to be able to catch you while I'm working. Never disappointed. Love this. Thank you. Thank you for dropping the peacocks. All right. So let me just go over here real quick, just as a quick reminder of where you go at. All right. So on the website, when you click on it, you have your collection for all the old workforce, your EcoTank printers. And if you have the newer workforce and you're doing sublimation, you can click on either of these thumbnails. You click on them, it actually goes to the collection. So they are clickable icons. So our current and live trainings are here, although I need to update this one. We have pricing for profit. That seminar is on Saturday. This coming Saturday, we have pricing for profit. It's going to be heavy emphasis on grad season and how to price the various things for grad season, and just business in general. But grad season is a big one right now. The foundations of designing is this one. We meet tonight, so you still have time to attend several live sessions. There is your Tumblr, and if you want your own review, choose this one and then leave a review, and it will be customized for you. And then, of course, if you want the 10% discount, if you want the 15% discount. And this is the 30-day training. If you're looking for, so I think I saw someone say something about heat tape. Go to Essentials. Your heat tape is there. You can always do the search for it. Oh my God, I got to go eat. My belly is saying, feed me, Seymour. And then a lot of other things on the site as well. All right. So until next time, guys, have a great one. Always, always unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.